Hi, this is Tim Mueller, Business Intelligence Master's Student at Full Sail University. This is a presentation called What's for Dinner? A recommendation on franchises to purchase. All the data backing the visualizations in this presentation were collected from the QSR Top 50 report spanning 6 years. It only includes the top 50 quick service restaurants that were put in the report based on their rankings of overall U.S. sales. QSR is a business to business trade publication that focuses in on industry news and products. Here we can see how the industry is performing by segment. There are 7 segments presented here. Growth in QSR has been steady. Both sales and units are seeing positive growth. The scatter plot below gives a visualization of that growth. So for example, we can look at the burger segment, which is represented by the light pink square. In 2015, they saw over $60 billion in US sales and had over 40,000 operating units. However, the burger segment is slowing in overall growth. Seafood actually decreased, but growth is happening in new areas and new markets. This bar chart breaks down overall US sales by segment over the 6 years. So you can see that while the burger industry is substantially larger, they've only seen an 8% growth over the 6 years. The market's definitely moving in a new direction. We have a society that's more health conscious and looking for new options for quick food. So you're seeing growth in other segments of the industry. Like ethnic and snack, they saw 40% growth, chicken saw 33%, and pizza and sandwich saw 25%. The top 5 moving up. So these are the 5 franchises I chose as my top picks. And the tree map below represents 2015 data, sales per unit by ranking. So Chick-fil-A is in the top left-hand corner. They actually earned the biggest profit per unit for 2015, and they're ranked at number 8. McDonald's, who is number 1 ranked overall just based on overall US sales, is actually lower down in number 4 on this tree map. So this is an interesting way to kind of look at where does everything rank based on profit by unit. McDonald's, so this is a reestablishing brand. They had a sales dip between 13, 14, and 15. They are still king of the hill. They're still the largest one out there. But you can compare here their overall sales. US sales is purple, and their average sales per unit is in gray. So they're doing almost $36 billion in annual sales in purple, but the actual sales per unit has declined from 2.6 million per franchise to 2.5. Some of the things that are starting to bring them back around is their all-day breakfast. They also started using electronic ways to place orders, so they're create your taste kiosks, and they're number 1 for a reason because they are McDonald's. So you can see here their overall unit growth from 2010 to 2015. No one's even close to the numbers that they're producing in the burger segment. Now Chick-fil-A is a little bit different story. They've had consistent corporate growth, and especially in 2013 through 2015 they had explosive gains. And what makes them unique is that they're closed on Sundays, so they're operating on a 6-day work week instead of a 7-day, which is typical in this industry. So they are climbing from in 2010 having under $4 billion in annual revenue to now almost 7, and the annual sales per unit has climbed up to almost $4 million per store. So they're doing very, very well. In 2012, they surpassed Kentucky Fried Chicken. You can see in this graphic here their overall rank next to their segment rank, and then each year displays their total unit growth. So you can see that they've gone from 1,500 units in 2010 to over 1,900 in 2015. So they've had steady unit growth, but their profits are much more dramatic. Chipotle is interesting as well. They're a fast casual restaurant, not fast food, but they're grabbing a lot of market share. They've had product issues hit them in 2015, which are not going to be represented here. Those will probably start showing next year, but their overall US sales have seen tremendous growth from just under 2 billion to over 4 billion in 6 years, and then the sales per unit going from 1.8 million to 2.4 million. So Chipotle is doing a pretty good job. They've doubled in size in 6 years. Their competition, however, is Taco Bell, and Taco Bell in size is quite large. So Chipotle has got a lot of ground to make up before they take on Taco Bell, but their overall rank is consistently climbing, which is a positive for Chipotle. Panera Bread is another fast casual setup. They've seen steady growth organizationally and steady growth per unit, like the other organizations we've looked at. On the heat map for Panera, right now their segment rank is number 2, but they are consistently moving up. It seems they have a pattern of every 2 years they will jump in rank. So they're showing promise there. Their big competitor is Subway and Arby's. However, both of these stores are on the decline, so there's a lot of potential here for Panera Bread to take over this segment and really start shifting the way that Americans go and buy their sandwiches. Starbucks has seen a lot of organizational strength. Their sales per unit is finally starting to rebound. They had a rough year in 2013 and 2014, but they have such a strong brand awareness that we're starting to see that pick back up to where they're over $1 million in profit per store. Overall, in just the overall rank, they're number 2. And their unit growth has been increasing since 2011. Their only competitor is Dunkin' Donuts, but they're not as strong. Dunkin' Donuts is about half the size of Starbucks. Shifting gears a little bit, we're going to just take a quick look at 5 organizations that are moving in the opposite direction. These are trending downward. Baskin Robbins has dropped overall rank from 37 to 46 between 2010 and 2015. Church's Chicken is dropping from 26 to 31, and you can see they're losing units as well. Crystal didn't even make it on the report the past 4 years. Quiznos, they've seen a sharp decline going from 3,100 operational units down to 1,400. And then Sbarro, they really felt the impact of the decline in food courts and shopping centers. So that's their target area, and they're really falling out. Let's compare the overall growth in total units. These two bar charts are showing unit fluctuation, and the top 5 are the trending downward, and the bottom are the 5 organizations who are trending upward. And you can see that in just unit fluctuation, the on the rise companies are moving in the positive direction, and the on the decline organizations are moving in the negative direction. My number 1 pick is going to be Chick-fil-A. They've seen a 48% growth in sales over 6 years and a 23% growth in operational units. These heat maps will give you a visualization of my top 5 choices. In Chick-fil-A, they're seeing more profit per unit than any other quick service restaurant on the report. So that's why they've made it to my number 1. My runner-up would be Starbucks. If I had to put a runner-up, that's who I pick. They've seen a 43% growth in sales and 11% growth in operational units. However, I have a concern with saturation because if you look at Starbucks on the 2 heat maps, that's a lot of Starbucks. So if you really want to make a big impact and get the best ROI, Chick-fil-A is definitely the way to move. This slide here, why Chick-fil-A wins, this is comparing the number of units added or subtracted by average sales per unit during that year. So here you can see the steady increase in growth for Chick-fil-A, and then the size of each bubble representing the amount of sales per unit. So while Starbucks is sporadic and all over and the bubble size is much smaller, Chick-fil-A is steady and solid and still just showing that it should still be the number 1 pick. So another reason to pick Chick-fil-A is, 1, it's never going to go public. That's written in the bylaws of the company. They have some of the lowest startup costs in the industry, but their franchise fees are higher. It's only about $10,000 to start a Chick-fil-A. Now, getting approved is the hard part. They receive 20,000 applications a year, and they only really approve about 1%. They are a drive-through and a brick and mortar building, so you can serve food in all weather conditions. And there's quite a few here in Florida that are able to weather the hurricanes and whatnot. And the best thing of all, they have the largest sales per unit in the industry. So that's the end of my presentation. This slide is showing my references. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.